Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. After Ridge returns to Taylor, does Brooke's alcohol relapse fall off the wagon? After Ridge Forrester returns to Taylor Hayes, Brooke Logan will be at a crossroads, according to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Since Ridge has experienced this before, Brooke ought to be accustomed to it by now. But this time, she might find it especially painful when Brooke and Ridge's love is destroyed. Brooke believed that she and Ridge would finally have a happy life together and that their recent reconciliation would last. Brooke might suffer and go down a hazardous path if she loses Ridge again. Everything hinges on the decisions Brooke makes following her most recent romantic outburst. Of course, Brooke might persevere and put forth a lot of effort as the new CEO of Forrester. To deal with Ridge's passing, Brooke may turn to success and power, but will those things be sufficient to replace the void? Brooke might eventually resume hitting the bottle. If Brooke loses it over Ridge and Taylor's reunion, she may be on the verge of a relapse. It may be possible for someone to save Brooke if she uses alcohol to dull her suffering. If Brooke's intoxicated downhill spiral starts, Deacon Sharp may notice the warning signs and feel compelled to step in and help. Since Sheila Sharp wants Deacon to herself, you can guarantee she wouldn't appreciate that at all. Sheila doesn't want to see the old flames rekindle their romance because Brooke was always the one who got away for Deacon. However, Bill Spencer might be the one to help Brooke when she needs it. Because of their unique bond, Bill might be able to save her if she begins to drown her sorrows. In any case, if Brooke gave in to the lure of drinking again, there would be some intriguing storylines. We'll be sure to provide you with additional B&B forecasts of any potential trouble in the future. Keep checking back for updates on all the drama on The Bold and the Beautiful, as teasers indicate that once Ridge begins to see Taylor as his future, Brooke will have to cope with some devastating news. Bill's next step, Electra's unsettling finding, and Brooke's future unveiled. According to previews for the upcoming 2 weeks of The Bold and the Beautiful, which run from December 23rd to January 3rd, Brooke Logan and Ridge Forrester will continue to be hostile. The confrontation between Ridge and Brooke at the Forrester mansion, where tension has been building between Ridge and Taylor Hayes upstairs, will take place over the week of December 23rd to 27th. Ridge could have to concentrate on a confrontation with Brooke after her interruption. Ridge will accuse Brooke of betraying him by accepting the CEO post, but Brooke will counter that she did it to support him. When Brooke provides updates on her plan to return Forrester's authority to him and Steffi Forrester, how will Ridge respond? Will Brooke discover that Ridge has been having sex with Taylor in the bedroom already? Although it appears that Ridge and Brooke are planning yet another big argument, let's change the subject and discuss some Christmas celebrations. Look for Bridget Forrester to attend the Logan party at Brooke's house as she will be home for the holidays. In addition, Pam Douglas will return to the Forrester house, where Steffi will lead the family in celebrating in spite of their recent disappointments and make a toast. According to other B&B spoilers, Bill Spencer will be taken aback by Luna Nozawa's arrival. Bill will question Luna and worry about the possibility of further danger when she is assaulted in jail. Of course, it's likely that Luna purposefully hurt herself in order to elicit sympathy from Bill. Luna must continue to persuade Bill that she doesn't belong in prison if she hopes to be free. Will Bill assign Justin Barber to work on Luna's appeal since he needs to make a decision soon? Will Bill ever be able to buy off a judge to exonerate Luna? Let us take a moment to discuss Electra Forrester, who will find solace in Remy Price after being fired from her beloved position at Forrester Creations. Electra is unaware that Remy started it by using deepfake pictures, but she might discover it soon. That's because Electra will find something shocking that will make her feel appalled. Electra might discover Remy's shrine and conclude that he is a stalker nutjob who has been ruining her life. Remy might even go so far as to abduct Electra and hold her hostage once she finds out the truth about him. What would happen if Remy took Electra as a hostage? He won't want to give up on his romantic relationship with her. Will Spencer might have a mystery to solve the week of December 30th to January 3rd as a result of his fear over Electra's disappearance. If Brooke turns against Ridge because of what he did with Taylor, she might abandon her plan to aid the Forresters. Our B&B predictions suggest that Brooke may decide to take full advantage of her position as CEO. We'll see if this year's unique celebrations and midnight kisses are brought on by the approaching New Year's Eve. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, there will be some surprises and upheavals over the next 2 weeks, so check in for all the exciting news. Brooke rushes to see Ridge as he climbs into bed with Taylor in the hopes that he won't get the wrong idea. Although Brooke Logan and Ridge Forrester's story has always been full of passion, miscommunications, and heartache, their most recent involvement adds new levels of drama and intensity. Brooke finds herself in an emotionally taxing race against time as a result of her desperate attempts to mend her broken relationship with Ridge. She races to confront Ridge because she is determined to avoid a disastrous mistake, but she arrives just in time to change their lives forever. Brooke interrupts a scenario that threatens to tear apart their complex past as Ridge gets closer to Taylor Hayes. The evening starts with a sequence of events that build to a confrontation. Disillusioned by Brooke's recent behavior and the widening gap in their marriage, Ridge turns to Taylor for solace. With 3 kids and decades of history together, Taylor embodies a kind of steadiness that seems in sharp contrast to the upheaval he's experienced with Brooke. As Ridge struggles with his feelings, Taylor sees a chance to reconnect with him and lends him a sympathetic ear. In the meantime, Brooke finds out via a worried friend that Ridge has departed in a rage and is going directly to Taylor's house. She is terrified that Ridge would see what she has done as a betrayal. Before Michael takes a decision that would terminate their relationship, Brooke quickly snatches her car keys and rushes to stop him. Ridge is warmly welcomed by Taylor at her house. She pays close attention as he releases his responsibilities, sharing his frustrations and feelings of undervaluation. Ridge finds it hard to resist the intimate setting created by Taylor's calming manner and unwavering support. Taylor pulls in closer, her goals more apparent as the wine flows and the talk becomes more intimate. Taylor gently touches Ridge's hand and whispers, "You deserve better, Ridge. You deserve someone who respects your needs and genuinely understands you." Ridge pauses, feeling conflicted. Although he is attracted to Taylor's friendliness and warmth, the memories of his long-lasting bond with Brooke haunt him. Taylor's lips are about to meet when there's a loud knock on the door, followed by Brooke's distinctive voice. "Ridge! Are you inside?" Brooke screams, her voice trembling with desperation. She opens the door and enters without waiting for a reply, her gaze instantly focusing on Ridge and Taylor seated together. She is startled by the image of them having a private moment together, but she immediately gathers herself and resolves to stand up for her convictions. Ignoring Taylor's cold stare, Brooke insists, "Ridge, we need to talk. I couldn't let you go without giving you all the details." With a composed yet determined attitude, Taylor gets up from her chair. This is Ridge's safe haven at the moment, Brooke. He doesn't require any more mayhem. Taylor gets a stare from Brooke, who won't be ignored. Chaos? Do you call that defending the man I love? As the three fight it out verbally, the tension in the room rises. Brooke makes a strong argument, claiming that Ridge has misinterpreted her motivations and that their love is worthwhile. As she narrates their past together, she highlights the depth of their relationship and her steadfast faith that they can conquer any challenge. Brooke breaks off, "Ridge, you know me better than anyone. You are aware of my heart. Please make sure that whatever we've created together is destroyed by a single error." With cool composure, Taylor responds, highlighting the recurring heartbreak cycles that have characterized Brooke and Ridge's relationship. She challenges Ridge to think about whether he really wants their turbulent dynamic for his future. Taylor remarks, "Maybe it's time to break the pattern, Ridge. I can provide you with the peace and happiness you deserve." Ridge's countenance is unreadable as he listens in silence. For a brief minute, it appears as though he could give way beneath the pressure of their heated disputes. The breaking point of Ridge. At last, Ridge's voice is strained and low. "I can't continue in this manner. I can't continue to be caught between the two of you." Taylor and Brooke were briefly astonished by his comments, which sliced through the room like a dagger. Ridge turns to face Brooke, grief and love mixed together in his gaze. "I've loved you more than I ever imagined, Brooke, but I'm not sure if I can continue to fight for something that hurts so much." His eyes soften as he turns to face Taylor. "And Taylor, you've always supported me, but I need to discover my true desires without being pushed in all directions." A future without certainty. Ridge then leaves Brooke and Taylor to take in what he has to say. Brooke's heart breaks when she acknowledges that her frantic attempt to keep their relationship together might have made matters worse. She gives Ridge one last glance before turning to go, tears running down her cheeks. Brooke whispers, "I hope you find what you're looking for, Ridge. I only wish things weren't this way." As Taylor watches Brooke go, she has a complicated mixture of happiness and sadness. Although she is aware that Ridge's choice isn't final, she also understands that the battle for his affections is far from done. Reflection and fallout. All of the people involved experience the fallout from the altercation. Returning home, Brooke struggles with determination and a sense of loss. Despite her lingering hope that Ridge may return to her, she decides to put her own happiness first. Taylor, on the other hand, is more assertive since she feels that their time together has improved her bond with Ridge. She starts to imagine a time in the future when they can reunite as a family and rediscover their previous love. Ridge must deal with the emotional consequences of his decisions. He finds it difficult to imagine a future free from more heartache since he is torn between two women who have shaped his life in different ways. He questions whether he will ever truly be happy or if he is doomed to live in the shadow of his own indecision for the first time. A rekindled love triangle. The love triangle that has enthralled audiences for decades is rekindled by the night's dramatic events. The lives of Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor are entwined in ways that are both thrilling and painful, and they find themselves at a crossroads once more. There is no doubt that the story is far from over and that the stakes have never been higher as they all struggle with their emotions and the decisions they must make. Ridge is humiliated by Brooke at FC after the loyalty plan fails. Although there had been plenty of drama in the glitzy corridors of Forrester Creations, this day's events would rank among the most combustible in the company's history. A formidable figure in the fashion industry and Ridge Forrester's longtime girlfriend, Brooke Logan, took a bold move that rocked the business and left Ridge in disbelief. What started as Ridge's well-planned power move swiftly spiraled out of control, leading to a public confrontation that revealed weaknesses, broke relationships, and left the Forrester family on the verge of collapse. Ever the strategist, Ridge Forrester had devised a scheme to try Brooke's allegiance. Ridge wanted to force Brooke to make a decision since he thought her recent behavior was motivated more by her own ambition than by love for him or the business. His demand was unambiguous: put their relationship and the Forrester family's unity first, or suffer the repercussions of her alleged treachery. Ridge, on the other hand, misjudged Brooke's tenacity and ability to turn the tables when cornered. Knowing that Ridge had suspicions, Brooke had been preparing for the showdown for days. She was infatuated with Ridge, but she also had faith in her own abilities and the work she had done for Forrester Creations over the years. Ridge's loyalty test was viewed by Brooke as an insult to her independence and integrity rather than as a sign of affection. Driven by a combination of pain and determination, she made the decision that she would not back down if Ridge wanted to fight. The meeting in the boardroom. During an eagerly awaited board meeting, the tension reached a boiling point. Key executives and the Forrester family convened to talk about the company's future course. As he presented his plan for the company's next stage, Ridge, who was sat at the head of the table, was confident and made it clear that Brooke would not be in a position of influence. Although his tone was measured, it was obvious what he was saying: Brooke's days as a key figure at Forrester Creations were coming to an end. As Ridge spoke, Brooke listened carefully, her expression emotionless. After he was done, she stood up and commanded the attention of the room. Brooke started off by saying, "I've heard a lot of talk about loyalty today," in a steady but acerbic tone. However, loyalty is reciprocal. For years, I have devoted my heart, soul, and knowledge to this organization. Despite this, I continue to be questioned, ignored, and treated with disrespect. No one dared to interrupt her as her remarks hung in the air like a challenge. Brooke's tone became more passionate as she turned to speak directly to the board. Without the contributions of everyone in this room, Forrester Creations would not be what it is today. But let's not overlook my contribution to the establishment of this empire. I would advise everyone present to carefully consider their own behavior if they think my loyalty or worth are in doubt. Brooke's shocking revelation. Then the moment that nobody anticipated arrived. With a flourish, Brooke placed a set of paperwork on the table after reaching into her briefcase. "Ridge pushed me to do something today, even though I wasn't planning to. I've been working on these plans for a new division that would take Forrester Creations into new areas and guarantee our position as leaders in the industry for many years to come." As Brooke described her vision, the room was alive with startled whispers. Her suggestion was audacious, creative, and precisely the kind of forward approach Forrester Creations required. However, what really took the audience by surprise was learning that Brooke had already obtained initial finance and alliances, thereby avoiding Ridge's power to carry out her plans. Ridge's expression clouded as the consequences of Brooke's behavior became clear. This was a direct threat to his leadership and sense of control, not merely a power struggle. Brooke made a brilliant move that demonstrated not just her business sense but also her determination to battle for her position within the organization and in Ridge's life. Public disgrace. The rifts in Ridge's poise became apparent as the meeting went on. In an effort to regain control of the story, he charged that Brooke was undermining him and endangering the Forrester family's togetherness. Unfazed, however, Brooke refuted his charges with logic and facts, destroying each of his points one by one. Brooke stated forcefully, "This isn't about undermining anyone. This pertains to guaranteeing the prosperity and durability of Forrester Creations. Maybe you should reconsider what leadership really means, Ridge, if that makes you feel threatened." When Brooke's remarks struck with devastating accuracy, the boardroom fell silent. Ridge, clearly agitated, found it difficult to reply. By the end of the conference, it was evident that Brooke had won, and his attempts to place the blame only served to further damage his reputation. The repercussions. Both the Forrester family and Forrester Creations were affected by the showdown's consequences. In addition to failing, Ridge's scheme to test Brooke's allegiance had made their relationship's weaknesses public knowledge. Although many in the workplace respected Brooke for her audacious decision, it also widened the gulf between her and Ridge. Ever the opportunist, Taylor Hayes took advantage of the situation to lend Ridge support. She portrayed Brooke's behavior as treacherous, which fueled Ridge's uncertainty and animosity even more. Brooke, meantime, took comfort in the encouragement of her supporters, who praised her for refusing to be sidelined and for standing her ground. A watershed moment. The day's events signaled a sea change in the turbulent relationship between Brooke and Ridge. The event strengthened Brooke's confidence in her own fortitude and resiliency. She made the decision to put her personal happiness and career goals first, even if it meant going forward without Ridge's support. After being outwitted by Brooke, Ridge felt humiliated and began to doubt his own choices and intentions. The persistent sense that his acts had caused an irreversible rift between them persisted while he struggled with the consequences. Gazing ahead. New friendships, rivalries, and power struggles within the corporation and the Forrester family were sparked by the dramatic clash at Forrester Creations. The question still stands as Brooke and Ridge work through the fallout from their argument: can their relationship bear the burden of their goals and the wounds from their past? Or is this the start of the end for one of the most famous couples from Bold and the Beautiful? There is no doubt that Brooke's public humiliation of Ridge will have a significant impact on both their relationship and Forrester Creations' future. Loyalty is brittle in the world of high fashion and higher stakes, and treachery is always a heartbeat away. Ridge and Brooke are at odds. In one of the most heated exchanges in their turbulent past, the tension between Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan reached a breaking point. Their most recent argument developed into a heated argument that consumed every aspect of their relationship after years of miscommunications, betrayals, and brief reconciliations. Feeling cornered and deceived by Ridge's recent behavior, Brooke resolutely kept her position, demonstrating her fortitude. Ridge, feeling equally overwhelmed and furious, was struggling with feelings he was unable to control. The complexity of their love and the cracks that threatened to split them apart were exposed by their fiery dispute, which exposed the unvarnished truth of their decades-long bond. Confronting Ridge's betrayal, Brooke. A sequence of incidents that left Brooke feeling abandoned and disrespected set off the altercation. Brooke had always been offended by Ridge's connection to Taylor Hayes, his ex-wife and the mother of his kids. But the last straw was his recent decision to take solace in Taylor's arms after arguing with Brooke. For Brooke, this was about more than just Ridge hanging out with Taylor, it was about the loyalty and trust that she believed were eroding. "Ridge, how could you have done this to me?" With a voice trembling with rage and anguish, Brooke demanded. "How could you have rushed back to her after everything we've been through together?" Surprised by Brooke's charges, Ridge retaliated with his own annoyances. He protested, "I didn't run back to Taylor. Brooke, I needed room. You've been so preoccupied with managing everything that you've forgotten what really matters." Ridge's protection. Ridge's defense focused on how he felt misinterpreted and undervalued. Using her steadfast support for Hope Logan and her contentious alliance with Carter Walton as examples, he charged Brooke with putting her family's needs before of their relationship. Ridge felt alienated in his own home since Brooke's devotion to her daughter frequently came at the expense of their marriage. With a hint of frustration in his voice, Ridge remarked, "You always side with Hope, no matter what. It seems as though you no longer even care about me. We should prioritize our marriage, but we never do." Refusing to give down, Brooke used her own complaints to refute Ridge's assertions. She chastised him of not appreciating her efforts and reminded him of the sacrifices she had made over the years to support him. Brooke shot back, "Ridge, I've been there for you through everything. Through the incessant turmoil in your family, your blunders, and your betrayals. You have no right to criticize me of not prioritizing our marriage." A conflict of views. As both Brooke and Ridge expressed their most intense complaints, the confrontation swiftly became heated. For Ridge, the problem lay not only in Brooke's behavior but also in their basic divergent perspectives on their partnership. He believed that Brooke's strong will and independence frequently conflicted with his desire for harmony and unity. Conversely, Brooke believed that Ridge did not recognize her strength and resiliency and that his expectations were unreasonable. Brooke's voice broke as she said, "You want me to be someone I'm not. You want me to be quiet and obedient, but I'm not like that. I won't apologize because I've worked too hard to become the woman I am now." Ridge shook his head, his expression full of frustration. "Brooke, I don't want you to change. All I want is for us to be a team and work together. But we seem to be on opposing sides all the time." The function of external factors. As the dispute progressed, it became evident that their current situation was largely the result of external factors. Ridge's relationship with Brooke had soured as a result of Taylor's reappearance in his life. Their marriage had become even more strained as a result of Brooke's steadfast support for Hope and her contentious choices at Forrester Creations. Ridge was accused by Brooke of letting Taylor control him and cause friction between them. Brooke remarked, "She's always been waiting for an opportunity to get in our way. And you're giving her the advantage." But Ridge defended his friendship with Taylor, saying she was only a buddy who helped him. "Brooke, Taylor isn't the issue. We are the issue. The two of us have not taken any action to stop our long-term drift apart." A watershed moment. Ridge's startling disclosure was the culmination of the altercation. He admitted that he had been wondering about their future together and if their love was resilient enough to endure the difficulties they encountered. Ridge's voice was full of passion as he continued, "I don't know if we can keep doing this. I'm sick of the arguments, miscommunications, and suffering, Brooke, even though I still love you. Perhaps the end of the road is in sight." Ridge's remarks left Brooke speechless, and she felt her heart shatter. She had always thought that their love was unbreakable and that they would always find a way to return to one another despite any challenges they encountered. "That's it, then?" With a quivering voice, Brooke inquired. "Are you simply going to abandon us?" Ridge's silence spoke a lot, and Brooke realized for the first time that they might not be together after all. The repercussions. Both Brooke and Ridge had to deal with the consequences in the days after their altercation. Devastated by the prospect of losing Ridge, Brooke turned to her loved ones for comfort. She started to consider what she had done and if there was anything she could have done to keep their marriage intact. In the meantime, Ridge was pulled to Taylor because he provided him with the security and comfort he so desperately needed. But he couldn't get rid of the memories he still harbored for Brooke and the notion that their tale was far from finished. Is it worth fighting for love? Ridge and Brooke had one unanswered question after all of the suffering and heartache: was their love worth battling for? Even while the path ahead was still unclear, one thing was certain: their bond, despite all of its difficulties, was too strong to be disregarded. Brooke and Ridge were reminded once more that their love story was anything from typical as they worked through the intricacies of their feelings and the decisions they had to make.